Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. So, for those of you who didn't join in on Friday, let me get you up to speed. So, we had last week, probably this time we were still hanging out together. Last week, this time, we were having the Ladies Power Lunch Summit, and it was to launch our beautiful, beautiful book called Live Your Optimal Life. And we had so many amazing ahas and so many amazing breakthroughs and so many amazing transformations that came as a result of the Ladies Power Lunch Summit. And somebody suggested that, you know what, not everybody had a chance to get to Summit. Why don't we pull this piece that we did at Summit and share it with everybody? And I consulted, with Spirit, as I like to do. And the suggestion was, why don't you make it into a challenge? And I was saying to Spirit, challenge, I'm not a big fan of challenges, but when it comes to a party, I can get behind that. And so we decided we're going to have this 4-day manifestation party. I talked to Marianne about it, and the conclusion Marianne came to is that I had broken it out into 6 pieces of our lives that we want to focus on and try to manifest optimal so that we can be living our optimal lives. And we broke it down into 4 instead. So we're looking at manifesting your optimal health, which is what we're going to be talking about today. We talked about manifesting your optimal finances and career. We lumped those 2 together. We're going to be talking also about manifesting your optimal relationships. So not just your relationship with your partner, but also with your family and your friends and your coworkers and your colleagues. And of course, manifesting your optimal spirituality. So those are the 4 things that we're going to be talking about this week. We're going to be going live for just a few minutes today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then Friday, we'll get together for Ladies Power Lunch Free Gift Friday. We'll give away a free gift, and we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up for everybody and what sort of manifestations we've been able to see. So welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're watching along, and I hope that you get value from this. And if you feel like these are things that give you value, just type value in the chat. Let us know that you're watching and that you appreciate these things that we're doing. So I want to take a minute to welcome Marianne. You're not going to see her on camera because the energy is working with her camera today to keep it off. But Marianne, can you share with everybody who you are and just a little bit about what you do in this amazing world?
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you, Duya. Hi, everybody. I'm Marianne Pack. Most of you know me. I am a spiritual medium, an author, a publisher, and a joy advocate. And I love to spread more love and joy in the world. That is my mission. And I do that through authoring books and helping people to publish their own, and podcasting and blogging and all the good stuff. So I love bringing that love and joy into the world with my collaboration partners.
Absolutely. And of course, for those of you who didn't have an opportunity as yet to get the newest Ladies Power Lunch anthology, Live Your Optimal Life, if you look really closely at the top, in addition to, as usual, our book being edited by Elizabeth Hill, we also have the song being edited by Marianne. So we're really, really grateful. Also want to take a minute to invite folks. Hey guys, the door is wide open right now because we are inviting the next group of authors that want to be a part of the next anthology that we're going to be doing. We're going to be, working together on a collaborative marketing. We're going to be doing our anthology. We're going to be doing summit together. We're going to be talking together on our TV show, on our podcast. We're going to be sharing our messages with about 20 to 50,000 people who need your message the most. So we're going to be sharing a message of manifestation. So if you have a story about a time when things looked bleak, but you were able to dig deep into manifestation and actually see amazing results. If you have that kind of story to share, reach out. Just go to growsmarternotharder.com/visibility, and you'll see a lot more information there about Visibility Circle, about our next anthology, and about how you can be a part of that and share your message with the world. So on with the show. So we're talking today about manifesting your optimal health and wellness. Marianne, when you think of manifesting your optimal health and wellness and well-being, what comes to mind for you? What comes up?
For me, it's I feel like our wellness, that well-being, our body living in pure well-being is who we are. It's our birthright, and it's what we naturally have in our lives. So it feels like, to me, it's only when I block it and get in its way, that it can't live and perform naturally and how it's supposed to. So I've always noticed that it's always when I get kind of sideways in my thoughts or something, that's when it tends to show up for me, that there's a block. Then my body responds in kind, and when I release that, then my body comes back into wellness.
I love that. I want to say welcome to everybody who's joining us in Facebook. Welcome to our friends who are also joining us here inside the Zoom room. Hi, Melissa. Great to see you. So today we're talking about manifesting our optimal health. And I want to just put a disclaimer at the top. Folks, I know because I've been there, I am there. It is me. I am constantly a work in progress when it comes to manifesting my optimal health. And so I know that for many of us, we struggle with things that are serious, things that we really do consider serious. I want to at the very top say that I'm not in any way diminishing the things that you have been through on your health journey. Having said that, I want to share a little bit about my story because maybe it can be inspiring for you. Maybe it can help you. I was, like you were saying, Marianne, I was putting myself in an energetic place where it was really obvious what was going to happen with my health and wellness. I had a brand new baby. So I was doing all the brand new mom things and probably not doing them very well because I didn't have that experience, right? I had a baby who was not sleeping through the night. I'll just let you know that little bad boy did not sleep through the night, not even one time until he was 18 months old. So understand my sleep debt at that point. I was nursing because I was really, really confident in that idea that that would be beneficial for the baby. I was new in my practice. And so I was also trying to build my practice at the same time. And I wasn't losing the baby weight fast enough. So I decided this is the perfect time to train for the Hartford Marathon. Makes perfect sense, right? Obviously, this is what I needed to be doing. Well, yeah, my body, however, disagreed with that. And so I started to show up with some symptoms. And it's interesting because I knew we were going to be talking about this today. So I was talking to my son this morning about what we were going to be talking about. And he was like, wow, so you're telling me that it was like, it felt like acid on your skin. That's how it burnt. I was like, yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Pretty gross, but also very, very explanatory. It was these symptoms, went to 6 different doctors, had 2 surgeries, no, nothing changed. As a matter of fact, things are just getting worse and worse. I was on crutches in my office treating patients when a patient said to me one day, Doc, you have to go and take care of yourself. That's how bad things were. And I am the kind of person who I push through, I do the thing. I am not a shirker. I child of immigrants, right? So grew up with that hard work mentality. And so closing my office to go take care of me, that wasn't something that even came to mind at all. But my patient said to me, no, you need to go take care of you. Like I can see I am not even as bad as you are right now. You need to go. And so at that point, I think that was my lowest point, maybe. And what's interesting is I think that was also the point where I opened up and I was open to options because my I reached out to a friend of mine who is also one of my doctors, and he said to me, I've been thinking about what we've been talking about. Let me send you to this other doctor number 7. And she was the right doctor, but I wasn't energetically ready for it before that. So even though I mean, her office is literally down the street from my house. So it's not even like I had to go far or anything. I found her. She said, yep. She called in all the med students who were in her office. She said, we hardly ever see this. So come look at it because I don't know when you're going to see it again. Turns out I'm the weird and wonderful, right? I'm the zebra that we we all are taught not to look for. And with learning about what was going on with me, I knew immediately what I needed to do to put myself on a different path and to move forward. But I feel like the answer was always there. Even when I was seeing all these different doctors and doing all these different things, the answer was there, but I couldn't see it because energetically I wasn't ready. What do you think about that, Marianne? Melissa, any thoughts?
Absolutely. For me, it's that's so energetically there. It's that's it. That's the key. Um, I just have a little short story of something that happened even for me.
Yeah,
Um, I,
please
I,
share, please.
I had this ankle pain. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, I know Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, says that, ankle is, movement forward. And I think it was on my right side. So it was masculine energy. And it was like 2 weeks I had this. And I thought, okay, this is ridiculous. I have the tools. What tools can I pull out of my toolkit to get back aligned with my wellness and my well being? And I thought of tapping, EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique. And I love it and I forget about it sometimes. But I was so ready to receive. I asked Source, what tool do you have for me to use? And immediately I was tapped on the shoulder with EFT. So I tapped on it. I did my rounds of why I didn't like it. And then I started my positive rounds. And it was like, I knew I was set in well being and that this was good for me and to move forward in life and to have that clean, crisp clarity of understanding and alignment. And do you know, I was sitting on the front porch doing this, and after my last round of positive tapping, that completely dissipated. And it had bugged me for 2 weeks. I was hobbling around because I was energetically ready to receive, just like you were talking about. You couldn't see it before.
Yeah.
Now you were ready. So you were energetically aligned with the answer, with the solution, and it came.
Yeah, I love that, your answer and my answer were two totally different things, because for your answer, you actually needed to do some tapping and calm your nervous system. For
Absolutely.
me, my answer required for me to take some medication and to completely change my diet so that I could, line up with with the energy of well-being. But of course, completely changing my diet in a way that's 100% more healthy than what I was doing before anyway. So it's all aligned, and I love that we're taking into consideration the things that are energetic, the things that are intangible, but also taking into consideration the physiological changes that might have to take place in order for you to get to that place of feeling healthy, feeling that well-being, taking care of your own health. So the bottom line is we need to find our path to healing by matching up with the right energetic vibrations. Melissa, did you have anything that you thought maybe we might be interested in hearing?
Yeah, I'd also love to share a little short story of my own
Mhm.
developing
Yeah,
journey. For years and years, I was told I had fibromyalgia,
yeah,
which I rejected because I was like, I'm too young for this. The solution was to just take medication forever, and this is your life. And I had rejected that. I was like, no. So for me, my journey, it was a twofold. Part of it was the energetic, spiritual trauma side of things. So I knew I had a lot of trauma that was still unresolved and held in my body, and actually found a program for me to go through personally, and then became trained in this whole process of how to release that on an energetic, spiritual, and physical level. And then when I had enough space to be able to think, I also found that I had to change part of my diet. There were
yeah.
certain foods that were triggering me in such a dramatic way. I had no idea that I should avoid soy. Gluten was like an easy one for me, ran in the family. Had never have thought soy was a thing for me.
Joy is a thing.
So yeah, it was a thing. It still is a thing. It's very interesting. My body's healed enough to be able to consume a little bit of other foods, but soy is still a
Not
no.
so, not for me
So for
either.
me,
So
yeah,
we're the
so
same.
and I wouldn't have been able to even address that or had the energy to even feel that until I was able to release the other piece on an emotional, spiritual, physical level. Some people
Mhm.
are opposite. They have to first deal with that physical side. So I find this fascinating and interesting to hear
Yeah,
different people's stories that you just have to trust yourself too. Like you have those answers and to be able to follow your gut. Because if I had ignored myself and continued to follow what I was being told at the time by several physicians, I would have never gone down the journey that I knew that I was meant to go find. And I just trusted in the process. And it's funny, my coach and I laugh, and I found this stranger on the internet that I trusted. It was time for her to help me release these things. And I can't even explain the depth of healing that has happened in my life because I was willing to do that work and follow my gut.
I love that. That is an amazing story, and I'm really glad that you're able to share this with us today. Thank you so much. So
Yeah.
kind. So I am a practical person, and this is the reason why we are doing this challenge right now. And the challenge is, what about you? What about your health? Is there something in your health? It could be a big chronic thing. It could be an acute thing. Like last week, my son pulled his hamstring, couldn't play soccer the whole week. Oh my God. But like, this is huge for him, right? He was very sad. It could be something that's under the surface, that's ongoing, but you're getting on with your life just the same. It's not rising to the level of it being a chronic issue that's plaguing you every day, but it's under the surface. It could be that, it could be something like weight gain, it could be something like you're taking medication for something every day and you probably don't want to do that anymore. However, this is showing up for you, I'm sure for every single one of us, there's an area in our health and wellness that we could look at a little bit more closely. It could be just that we're a bit more stressed out than we want to be. Whatever it is, think about that thing right now. And here's the homework, here's the work, right? When it comes to transforming just about anything in my life, I have 5 steps that I go through. And how these 5 steps were born is when I was going through my journey of health issues, which is ongoing. I mean, every day I still have to work at it, but every day I'm a bit closer to what I consider my optimal. And these 5 steps, they're simple. So I want to invite you to consider these 5 steps as well. So the first step is you have to be able to see it to realize that it's possible. And for health, sometimes it's really, really hard to see what the other side of that's going to look like. Because I can tell you at the time when I was on crutches, I couldn't imagine a day when I would be able to put my feet on the floor and not feel sharp pain. I couldn't imagine it. It was just not anywhere in my mental process at the time. Felt like this is going to be my life forever. Melissa, when you got your diagnosis of fibromyalgia, and we all know fibromyalgia is a diagnosis of exclusion, and it's the one that we give to people when we're not really too sure exactly what's going on with them, but they fit a certain number of criteria. So you got that diagnosis, right? But you were able to look at it and say, hey, I can see a different life. I know what a different life can look like. So step one for me is you have to be able to imagine it. It might, not everybody is good at imagining things, right? Me and my babies, we practice using our imagination. So I feel like it's something that you can work on. It's something that you can practice. Step two for me is, what are the things that have worked for you in the past when it comes to manifestation? And hear me out on this one, because you're probably thinking, I don't know what works for me for manifestation, but there's some area in your life where things are going phenomenally. So amazing that you need to break out your flag in gratitude for all the amazingness that's going on in that area. For me, it's me and my kids and my husband and my family. That piece of my life is just juicy, joyful, and delicious. And every day that I get to go home to these amazing people, I am so grateful. What is the energy that you feel when you are with that piece of your life, right? Can you think about how you think about that thing and then bring that energy over to the thing that's sticky? Are you hearing what I'm saying? And you have to do it with intention, right? So for me, when I do it, there's always talking out loud to myself. Like I'll say things like, I am so happy and grateful that things are going so well in this area of my life. And I get myself into that energy. And then I start talking to myself about how I would love to feel when health and wellness is also on that level. I talk to myself about how I want to feel. I also do journaling around that. And those 2 things, 3 things, gratitude, journaling, and talking to myself. Yes, and there is no crazy. It's just me talking to myself. But these are the ways that work for me. It might be different for you. Melissa, you might like affirmations. Those might be amazing things for you, or meditation. What is it that you use? What processes do you use when you are in that manifestation mode? What about you, Marianne? You mentioned you do tapping. That works for you. I feel like tapping works for me too, but I tend to forget it. So thanks for
Absolutely.
reminding us about that
Yeah.
one, because that one's good. Any other processes that work for you, Marianne or Melissa?
Yeah, for me, it's always about appreciation or gratitude. You know, I love to journal about that. It just kind of puts me back into that free-flowing alignment. Um, and of course, you know, the tapping and crystals, and just because it's a tangible object that I can focus on. So it makes me laser focus onto what I want. And I love, love, love that you brought up that, you know, you ask yourself, what is it? How do you want to feel? And that's what I tend to ask myself. How do I want to feel? What does it feel like? Because we can conjure the feeling even before the condition changes. So, you know, as we're thinking about, oh, it feels so good. It feels like freedom. It feels like vitality. It feels like joy, when we go into those, we're feeling them. We're shifting our energy. And that healing energy starts coming through and just flooding our bodies. And so anyway, I definitely have several things that I love to do, but appreciation and focusing on how I feel, because that's my why. What I want is healing, but why I want it is because I want to feel good. And so I just, talk all about to myself. I talk to myself too, and I tell myself how wonderful it feels and get into that feeling place of receiving.
Yeah, I love that. Melissa, is there any process that works for you? Like you like doing that?
Yeah, so I would say for me, it's twofold. I do a similar meditation that kind of incorporates some of the pieces you guys are talking about because it's powerful and you're accessing your neural pathways and lighting that up. Is the same thing, starting off with just connecting with my higher power, stepping into gratitude in a way that I'm pulling up moments in my life that I felt that pure gratitude and invoking those same feelings. What did it feel like, taste like, smell like, really pulling that forward. Then I do an energetic cleanse. And then I
Mhm.
switch your pace into what it is that I'm trying to step into. Again, what does that feel like, look like? And so you already have those neural pathways lit up and you can kind of transfer that into that future that you're looking to step into. And I'm also very into how important our energy is. So I actually have, I don't know if you guys have heard of Healy. It's a quantum processor. And I use that to
Okay.
reinforce that energetic feeling. You can have different frequencies that you can utilize with that particular product. And so I do that as a way to work on the energy around me to match what it is that I'm trying to put out there in the world. Because I think that's just another layer of getting it out there and then becoming in sync with it, if that makes sense. So those are
Perfect. Perfect sense. I love that. So my step 3, so step 1, you have to be able to picture it. Step 2, you have to figure out what processes work for you. Folks, it's not one size fits all, right? Because me doing some affirmations, I'm going to tell you right now, affirmations are not my jam because I will be looking at myself saying, I feel healthy. And I'm like, but do I though? Do I really? So affirmations are not my favorite, but talking to myself, because I love apparently hearing the sound of my own voice, that works just amazingly. So you got to find out what works for you. Step 3 is practice. Because here's the thing, folks, one push-up is amazing, but you can't just do one ever and then say, okay, I did one push-up. That's it. I'm done. I am now the push-up master. It's not going to work that way. Unless he does, in which case, damn me, I need to know more about that. No, you gotta practice. And so the recommendation is do these things at least 30 days in a row and see how they're showing up. If you can do it morning and evening, getting yourself, calming your nervous system, getting your neural pathways to be focused on that positive as opposed to the status quo, then watch your vibration raise. I always recommend 2 for number 4, personal care, because the fact of the matter is it's easier to manifest in a body that's being taken care of. And so you want to do the basic things that you know how to do. The African proverb that I love so much says, pray and move your feet, right? So you want to get yourself in that energetic vibration, but you also want to do the things that you know to do. So you know you need to sleep. I was not sleeping when all my stuff kicked off. You know you need to eat a certain way. You know you need to drink water. You know you need to move your body. All the things that you know you need to do to maintain the physical, you want to do those things too. And then the last one, you want to make sure that you're connecting with the right kinds of people. So I'll share this with you. I have a really, really, really good friend, and we meet every Monday and we go to the gym and we lift and we do a Zumba class. And Monday is my favorite day at the gym because I have that energy of my friend right beside me, and it makes a difference. So if you have people who are naysayers and who say, this is something that you're going to have to live with forever, or you're never going to lose that 20 pounds, or, this is just never going to change for you, find some new people. I don't know where you're going to find them. Look under some rocks somewhere. And I know where they are. They're in Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group. That's
I was
where
just
they are.
going to say that. Come to this group.
That's where they are. So you have to surround yourself with the right people, because what happens with energy is that it multiplies. It absolutely multiplies. And so it's exponential when you get in the right group. What do you think, Marianne? How's this hitting you? My 5-point plan. See it, know what processes you need to do, practice, take care of your personal care, and surround yourself with the right people. How's this hitting for you?
Oh, absolutely. I think for me, kind of my fall down area is personal care. I'm doing better now. We've been on a program, my husband and I, so we're doing so much better, even already. And
Mhm, mhm.
you know, but the practicing, just being consistent of practicing and not let too many days go away before you come back to it.
Yeah.
And then surrounding yourself with the people. Ask for help. You know, I had to ask when I crashed at 34, you know, I had to ask for help and help came. You know, and for me, you guys talking about sometimes it's a spiritual awakening first, sometimes you have to do the physical work. You know, when I initially got that, boom, I had to do the physical work first before I could even think about anything emotional or spiritual or anything. So I love all this. I love these and imagining it, feeling it. I love, Melissa, how you talked about, you know, that it is feeling into so that you're lighting up your neural pathways already before you anchor it. I love that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Any last words, Melissa, before we log off?
I just keep thinking about, yeah, just how important it is to also give yourself grace when you're not perfect at this and continue to ask for help and support and not, I always call it turtling, you know, because I've done this plenty of times in my life where I go into my shell and it's just like, I'm not talking to anyone now. There's a time and place for that sometimes in the healing process also. And to understand that sometimes it's just part of the journey
Yeah.
of just sitting in it, and that's okay. And just to know that you can come back out of that and start again. I think that's important.
I love that you say we need to give ourselves grace, because I promise you, if there was somebody else who was going through the thing that we're going through, we would give them so much grace. We also do deserve that. Absolutely. Every single time. So give yourself the space that you need. And I'm not one of those people who believe that everything happens for a reason. I really don't believe that. But what I do believe is that you can find purpose in the thing that's happening with you. And what would happen if, and this is a perfect segue into talking about our next Ladies Power Lunch anthology, what would happen if out of what's going on with you right now, you were able to use your story of triumph, your story of transformation to help somebody else who's going through that same exact thing. And that's what we're welcoming right now. Right now, we're inviting all the people who have that kind of story, who have that kind of message to share, to come be a part of the next Ladies Power Lunch anthology and summit and TV show and podcast. The last one that came out last week, Monday, is Live Your Optimal Life. We put one of these out once a year, and it was just amazing. And now the next call is for folks who have a manifestation story to share. And here's why this is important. There's so many people out there who've already decided that they can't manifest. They've tried, it doesn't work for them. And what would happen if your story was able to help them to see actually it does work and it can work for you and change their life in such a fundamental way? So go to growsmarter.harder.com/visibility. Growsmarter.harder.com/visibility. And there you'll find more information about what all the, nuts and bolts and details of what the program entails. It's amazing. It's a collaborative effort to bring our stories into the world, and you are invited to be part of the next group. Thanks so much, Melissa, for just being an amazing part of our conversation today. Marianne, you are the queen of manifestation, as I see it. You've helped so many people with manifestation, and I'm really grateful for you to be here with us today. I want to say thank you also to everybody joining us over in Facebook Landia, our Ladies Power Lunch folks. And if you're not already a member of our Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group, come join us. Grow smarter, not harder.com/Facebook is how you connect with that. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking more about this manifestation idea. And I just want to look at my notes here to see what we're talking about tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow we're talking about relationships. So we're talking about our romantic relationships. We're talking about our relationships with our family and our community and our coworkers, and probably thinking, it takes more than one person to have a relationship. How can I change that? And my answer to you is yes, you can. Yes, you can. So let's talk about that some more tomorrow. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, Marianne. Thanks, everybody. I'll see y'all on the next show. Bye.